The restaurant was fancy. Candles flickered on every table, casting soft shadows across white tablecloths. I sat near the end of the long table, watching everyone laugh and clink their wine glasses. Our CEO, Mr. Harrison, stood at the head, giving a speech about our record-breaking quarter. My hands felt sweaty. I wasn't used to these company dinners. I usually stayed in my corner at the office, crunching numbers quietly while everyone else chatted by the coffee machine. But tonight was different. Tonight, Mr. Harrison had personally invited the entire finance team to celebrate. I forced a smile, sipping water, trying to blend in. My boss, Derek, sat 3 seats away, looking relaxed and confident as always. Mr. Harrison raised his glass. "To all of you who made this quarter possible," he said, his voice warm and proud. Everyone cheered. I joined in, clapping politely. Then his eyes landed on me. My stomach tightened. "And especially to our junior analysts," he continued, smiling directly at me. "You all received your bonuses last month, right? I hope it helped with the holidays." My heart stopped. Bonus? What bonus? I blinked, confused. Everyone around me nodded and smiled. But I hadn't received anything. Not a single email. Not a single deposit. I opened my mouth, then closed it. Maybe I missed something? Maybe it was coming later? I glanced at Derek. He was staring at his plate, fork frozen mid-air. His jaw looked tight. Something about his expression made my chest feel heavy. Mr. Harrison was still smiling at me, waiting for a response. The table had gone quiet. Everyone was watching. I swallowed hard. "What bonus?" I said softly. The words hung in the air like a grenade. Mr. Harrison's smile faded. He tilted his head, confused. "Your year-end bonus," he said slowly. "Everyone on the finance team got one. $5,000 for junior analysts. Didn't you receive yours?" I shook my head. My voice came out shaky. "No, sir. I didn't get anything." The silence was crushing. Derek suddenly coughed, loud and awkward. He grabbed his water glass and drank quickly. Mr. Harrison's eyes shifted to him. "Derek," the CEO said carefully, "you distributed the bonuses to your team, correct?" Derek nodded too fast. "Yes, absolutely. Everyone got theirs." His voice was higher than usual. Mr. Harrison frowned. "Then why didn't she receive hers?" Derek shrugged, avoiding my eyes. Maybe it was a bank error. Or maybe she didn't update her account details. I felt my face flush. That wasn't true. My account details hadn't changed in 2 years. I wanted to speak up, but my throat felt tight. Why was Derek lying? Mr. Harrison looked uncomfortable now. "We'll sort this out Monday," he said. The rest of the dinner was torture. People whispered around me. I caught bits of their conversations. "That's so weird. Poor girl. How does someone just not get paid?" I pushed food around my plate, pretending to eat. My mind raced. $5,000. That was huge for me. I'd been struggling to pay rent. My car needed repairs. I'd skipped buying groceries last week just to save money. And this whole time, I was supposed to have received a bonus? I glanced at Derek again. He was laughing now, talking loudly with someone next to him, acting like nothing happened. But I saw the way his hand trembled when he picked up his wine glass. He knew something. When the dinner finally ended, I grabbed my coat and rushed toward the exit. I needed air. I needed to think. But as I stepped outside into the cold night, I heard footsteps behind me. "Hey, wait up." It was Kyle, one of the other junior analysts. He jogged over, his breath visible in the freezing air. "That was intense in there," he said, hands shoved in his pockets. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. Kyle hesitated. "Look, I don't want to cause problems, but something's been off with Derek lately." My heart skipped. "What do you mean?" Kyle glanced back at the restaurant. "Just keep an eye on him. That's all I'm saying." I couldn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Mr. Harrison's question. Derek's nervous reaction. Kyle's cryptic warning. At 2 a.m., I grabbed my laptop and logged into the company portal. I pulled up my payment history. Every paycheck was there, on time, correct amounts. But there was no bonus listed. I checked my email. Nothing. I searched bonus in my inbox. The only result was an old company-wide memo from November announcing that year-end bonuses would be distributed in December. That was 2 months ago. I leaned back against my pillow, heart pounding. If everyone else got their bonus, why didn't I? And why did Derek act so guilty? Monday morning came too slowly. I arrived at the office early, hands shaking as I swiped my keycard. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The office was still empty. I walked to Derek's door. It was closed. I waited by my desk, watching the clock. At 8:30, Derek strolled in, coffee in hand, whistling. He didn't even glance at me. I stood up, heart hammering. "Derek, can we talk?" He barely paused. "Little busy right now. Send me an email." Then he disappeared into his office and shut the door. I stood there, stunned. He was avoiding me. That confirmed it. Something was very, very wrong. I sat back down, opened my email, and started typing. My email was polite but firm. "Hi Derek, I need to discuss the missing bonus with you. Mr. Harrison mentioned everyone on the team received theirs. Can you check the records and let me know what happened? Thanks." I hit send and waited. An hour passed. Nothing. 2 hours. Still nothing. By lunch, I was furious. I marched to Derek's office and knocked hard. "Come in," he called. I stepped inside. He didn't look up from his computer. "I sent you an email," I said. He waved a hand dismissively. "Yeah, I'll get to it." I crossed my arms. "Derek, this is serious. I didn't get my bonus. That's $5,000. I need answers." He finally looked at me. His expression was cold. I said I'll handle it. That afternoon, I got called into HR. My stomach dropped. Why HR? I walked into the small glass-walled office. Linda, the HR manager, sat behind her desk, her face unreadable. "Have a seat," she said. I sat, gripping the edge of the chair. Linda folded her hands. "Mr. Harrison asked me to investigate your missing bonus." I pulled up the records. My heart raced. And she slid a paper across the desk. It was a payment receipt. My name was on it. $5,000. Marked as deposited on December 20th. I stared at it, confused. "But I never received this," I said. Linda's eyes narrowed. "According to this, the payment was processed. It went to an account ending in 4721. I felt the blood drain from my face. "That's not my account number," I whispered. "My account ended in 8394. I'd memorized it years ago." Linda frowned. She clicked something on her computer. "The account details on file for you show 4721. She turned the screen toward me. There it was. My name. But someone had changed my bank account number. My hands started shaking. "I didn't change that," I said, voice breaking. "Someone else did." Linda's face went pale. She leaned back in her chair, processing. If that's true, then someone committed fraud. We stared at each other. The weight of it hit me like a truck. Someone stole my bonus. And I had a sinking feeling I knew exactly who. Linda promised to launch a full investigation. She told me not to discuss this with anyone yet. But as I walked back to my desk, my mind was screaming. Who had access to my employee records? Who could change my bank details without me knowing? The answer was obvious. Derek. He was my direct supervisor. He had full access to our team's files. He distributed the bonuses. My stomach churned. Did Derek steal from me? I sat down, hands trembling. I wanted to confront him right then and there. But Linda's warning echoed in my head. Don't discuss this. I forced myself to stay quiet. For now. But I wasn't going to let this go. 2 days later, Linda called me back to HR. This time, Mr. Harrison was there. My heart pounded as I stepped inside. They both looked serious. Mr. Harrison gestured to a chair. Sit, please. I obeyed. He leaned forward, hands folded. We've reviewed the records. Someone accessed your employee file on December 18th and changed your account number. The IP address traced back to Derek's computer. I felt like I'd been punched. Mr. Harrison continued, voice tight with anger. The account the money went to belongs to Derek's wife. My mouth fell open. He stole my bonus? Mr. Harrison nodded grimly. Yes. And we believe he did the same to 2 other junior analysts last year. I couldn't breathe. Derek had stolen from me. From others. For how long? Mr. Harrison's voice softened. We're terminating him immediately. And you'll receive your full bonus, plus interest, by the end of the week. I nodded numbly. What about the others? The people he stole from before? Mr. Harrison sighed. We're tracking them down now. They'll be compensated too. Linda added, we're also filing a police report. Derek will face criminal charges. I sat there, processing everything. Part of me felt relieved, vindicated, but another part felt sick. How could someone do this? Steal from people who trusted him? People who worked hard? I stood up slowly. Thank you, I whispered. Then I left. Derek was escorted out that afternoon. I watched from my desk as security walked him through the office. His face was red. His hands were cuffed. Everyone stared. Whispers filled the room. What happened? Did he get arrested? I kept my head down, pretending to work. But inside, I felt a strange mix of emotions. Anger. Sadness. Relief. Kyle appeared beside my desk. Hey, he said quietly. You okay? I nodded. Yeah. Just processing. He gave me a small smile. For what it's worth, I'm glad you spoke up. A lot of people wouldn't have. I looked at him. How did you know something was wrong? Kyle shrugged. Derek's been living way above his means. New car. Fancy vacations. It didn't add up. That weekend, I finally felt like I could breathe. My bonus arrived Friday afternoon. $5,000, plus an extra $500 as an apology from the company. I stared at my bank account, tears stinging my eyes. This money changed everything. I could pay rent, fix my car, buy groceries without anxiety. I treated myself to dinner at a small diner. Nothing fancy, just a burger and fries. But it felt like a feast. As I ate, I thought about Derek. About how greed had destroyed his career, his reputation, possibly his freedom. I didn't feel sorry for him, but I did feel grateful. Grateful I'd spoken up. Grateful Mr. Harrison had listened. Grateful the truth came out. Monday morning, Mr. Harrison called an all-staff meeting. Everyone crowded into the conference room. He stood at the front, expression serious. I want to address what happened last week, he began. The room went silent. One of our managers violated your trust. He stole from employees under his supervision. That is unacceptable. He paused, letting the words sink in. We've implemented new safeguards to ensure this never happens again. And I want to personally apologize to those affected. His eyes found mine across the room. I felt my cheeks flush. If anyone ever feels something is wrong, speak up. Your voice matters here. People clapped. I felt a lump in my throat. This was justice. In the weeks that followed, things slowly returned to normal. A new manager, Angela, took over Derek's position. She was kind and transparent. She held one-on-one meetings with each of us. When it was my turn, she smiled warmly. I've heard a lot about you, she said. I tensed. Good things. I hope. Angela nodded. Mr. Harrison speaks very highly of you. He says you showed courage. I didn't know how to respond. I just wanted what was fair. Angela leaned forward. That's exactly the kind of integrity we need here. I'd like to discuss your career development. I think you have serious potential. My heart soared. For the first time in years, I felt seen, valued, respected. 3 months later, I got promoted. Junior analyst to senior analyst. It came with a raise, better benefits, and my own small office. I stood in the doorway of that office, staring at the desk, the chair, the window overlooking the city. I couldn't believe it. A year ago, I was struggling to make rent. Now, I had stability, respect, a future. Kyle stopped by with a coffee. "Congrats," he said, grinning. I laughed. "Thanks. Still feels surreal." He leaned against the doorframe. "You earned it. Seriously." As he left, I sat down at my new desk. I thought about that dinner. About Mr. Harrison's question. About my answer. What bonus? 2 words that changed everything. One afternoon, I got an unexpected email. It was from one of the other analysts Derek had stolen from. Her name was Maya. She'd left the company a year ago. "Hi," the email read. "I heard what happened with Derek. Thank you for speaking up. He stole from me too. I never said anything because I was scared. But you gave me courage. I'm filing a claim now. Thank you." I read the email 3 times, tears blurring my vision. I hadn't just helped myself. I'd helped others. People I didn't even know. That realization hit me hard. Sometimes, speaking up isn't just about you. It's about everyone who comes after you. I replied to Maya. "You're braver than you think. I'm glad you're getting justice too." 6 months after the dinner, the company hosted another celebration. This time, it was for hitting an even bigger milestone. I walked into the same restaurant, same candlelit tables. Same restaurant, same candlelit tables, same white tablecloths. But everything felt different. I wasn't nervous anymore. I sat near the middle of the table, chatting easily with my coworkers. Mr. Harrison stood up to give his speech. He thanked everyone, then paused. I also want to recognize someone who reminded us all what integrity looks like. My heart skipped. He looked directly at me. Her courage led to major changes in how we operate. "Thank you." The table erupted in applause. I felt my face turn red, but I smiled. This time, it was real. After dinner, Mr. Harrison pulled me aside. "Walk with me," he asked. We stepped outside into the cool evening air. He was quiet for a moment, then spoke. "I want you to know something. What you did wasn't easy. A lot of people would have stayed silent." I shrugged. "I just wanted what was fair." He smiled. "Exactly. And that's why I'm offering you a spot in our leadership training program. We need more people like you making decisions here." I stared at him, stunned. Leadership training? That was reserved for high-potential employees. People being groomed for management. "Are you serious?" I whispered. He nodded. "Completely. Think about it." I didn't need to think. "Yes," I said immediately. "Yes." A year after that dinner, Derek's trial concluded. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison for fraud and embezzlement. The news hit the local papers. I read the article quietly at my desk. Part of me felt vindicated. Another part just felt sad. He'd thrown away everything for money that wasn't his. I thought about all the times he'd smiled at me in meetings. Pretended to care. All while planning to steal from me. It was a hard lesson. Not everyone who smiles at you has good intentions. But it also taught me something important. Trust your gut. Speak up. Don't let fear silence you. Because the truth always matters. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Today, I'm a manager. I have my own team now. Junior analysts who remind me of myself a few years ago. Nervous. Hardworking. Hoping to be seen. I make it my mission to see them. To listen. To protect them. In my first team meeting, I said something I'll never forget. "If something feels wrong, tell me. Your voice matters here. I promise I'll listen." I saw their faces relax. One analyst, a young guy named Tom, approached me after. "Thank you for saying that," he said quietly. "My last boss didn't care." I smiled. "Ikare. And I'll prove it." Because I remember what it felt like to be invisible. To be stolen from. And I'll never let that happen to anyone on my watch. Sometimes I think about that dinner. About Mr. Harrison's question. I hope your bonus helped. About my answer. What bonus? 2 words. 2 simple words that unraveled everything. That exposed a thief. That changed my life. People ask me if I regret speaking up. If I wish I'd stayed quiet. The answer is no. Not for a second. Yes, it was scary. Yes, it was uncomfortable. But it was also the right thing to do. And in the end, the right thing always wins. I look at my office now. At the team I lead. At the career I've built. None of this would exist if I'd stayed silent. So if you ever find yourself in a moment like that, when something feels wrong, speak up. Your voice is more powerful than you know.